Hello everyone, today we are looking at one of these. This is a Philips Fizz. If you're knowledgeable in the phone game, you'll know that this phone exists both in GSM digital as well as analog. This is the GSM model. They did do an eTax compatible analog version of this phone. I actually don't have one of them. They're that rare. Believe it or not, if you do have one of those and you want to get rid of it, email me directly, because that's one of the phones that actually I realized earlier today I don't actually have. I don't have it on my list, and I don't actually ever recall having one in my hand to play with. So if you got one of them, drop me a comment or email me directly. Today though, we're looking at the GSM version of this. GSM obviously is digital and it uses a SIM card, so it can still be used today in various parts of the world. This is what the box looks like, and this box is quite light for the simple reason that it is actually an empty box. Hey ho. And the reason for being is that I got this bad boy on charge right here. I did actually get this to fire up. I was surprised because this is a really old phone. In fact, I don't even have this on my list yet. It's not even been labeled. I've had it that long, and I'm obviously working backwards in time, and it's beeped at me, so it's good to go. So I'm going to put the phone back in the box and then pretend like I'm unboxing it, so bear with me. Okay, so here we have a Philips Fizz GSM. If you've just joined us, I'm just kidding. But before we get into it, if you like the phone or the video and you've checked out some of my other videos about all the other old school phones I own, hit that subscribe button. It helps me, and also it helps you, because you'll get an email every time I upload. So and if you like the phone, if you like this video in particular, give me a thumbs up as well. Much appreciated. So let's get into it then. This is a Philips Fizz. The box actually says it's metallic grey. They did these in a couple of shades of colors. I do recall having a blue one myself, not this very one. This is a grey one. They did do a green sort of teal one, similar actually to the old BT phones like this, the Microtax. This is a Motorola teal colored phone. Oh, that's what they call it anyway. And I think they did this one in black as well, although I don't actually own a black one. So in fact, let me turn the box around. So this is what you got. You got a really nice colorful bright manual with some paperwork that's stuck in the back of it. I can get it out. Really useful manual, this. Oh, it's upside down. How is that possible? You got a menu structure there. Oh, there you got a pop-out card. So really useful manual. This I got a lot of photos. Well, not photos, but a lot of diagrams. Really illustrative. Lots of illustrations and sort of things. You compare that to some of the older manuals from older phones in the same era. Similar era, there's not really much in terms of illustrations in those manuals. So this was actually a pretty smart manual, I think, by the standards, mid-90s. This phone came out, I think it was late 95, certainly early 96. These were around because I remember having one then. In fact, maybe the manual's even got a date on the back. Let me just check. Has it got a date? There we go, July 1996. Reference number, yada yada yada. So yeah, middle of 96. This one is. But they did have them late 95. So so you got a manual. You got some paperwork. This is the back page of the original contract. I can obviously show you the contract filled in part of it, because obviously this was someone else's phone and I got to respect their privacy. So these are just some of the terms and conditions that you got, which don't really interest me. Some red bit of paper which has some funny lettering saying attention. You got a service informational thing. They're all different languages that I don't speak. Willkommen by first choice spelled with a 1. Bienvenuti, that's got to be Italian. This has got to be Dutch. What else we got in here? Welcome, could be Scandinavian. First choice, that's obviously English. French, and bienvenido, that's gotta be Spanish. Hablo español. Un poco. Okay, so what's interesting to note is that this has got a French address on the bottom, even though the phone actually is made in Singapore. I didn't even know Philips had a factory out in Singapore. I really didn't. So, but this is what you got. You also got a nice. If this phone was connected to Vodafone, obviously, because back in the day, you had a choice of GSM providers. You had Vodafone, and you had what was then called Cellnet, which then later became BT Cellnet, and then it changed back to Cellnet, and then it went to O2. So this one obviously was on Vodafone, and they gave you a nice little June 1996 dated little booklet on how to use your phone abroad. Of course, back in the day, GSM was all the rage that you could use Europe-wide, because with analog you couldn't really use your phone anywhere other than your home country. Within, you know, there were exceptions, but it was kind of like amps. You had your amp systems out in America, and then if you went outside of America, you know, anywhere else, you kind of snookered. You couldn't really use your phone. So they made a big song and dance about roaming back in those days, and they printed all these nice pamphlets, and I got a few of these, all different dates. I got a 1995 one, I think I even have a 1994 one, and I got a whole bunch of these from Orange as well, and Orange ones were quite thick. They were ring bound and everything. So but anyway, let's get into the phone. This is what you got. Pretty basic stuff. You got the phone, the battery obviously, and this little thing. It took me some time to work out what the heck this was, but this is actually a clever little gadget. You take this rubber thing off, and actually no, you don't take that off. I thought I knew this. This is supposed to fit in here like so. I think you actually screw that on into this little thing here, and yeah, so, and then you get a nice little belt clip. I could have really got a screwdriver and showed you guys, but anyway. So that's kind of how this works, I think. And then you got obviously the charger. I've had this bad boy on charge. Surprisingly, this took a charge. I was pretty impressed. The charger's still baking warm. But this did take a charge. This one is in immaculate condition for the simple reason that it spent most of its life in the leather case, which I did have, which I kind of tossed away. So we don't need that for the video. But this is in remarkable condition. Battery comes undone like so. If I can get the sucker out, there we go. NiCad, this is probably one of only 2 NiCad batteries that I own amongst the 1,000+ phones that I have in my collection that still takes a charge, believe you me. I'm not a fan of NiCad batteries at all. Most of the time they get used as door stops or window props. Ignore that number, or call it if you want. It's one of my test SIM cards, and I managed to put a good Vodafone SIM card in there. It says made in Singapore just there, so we're gonna go ahead and fire it up. I don't know why they made these in Singapore, but I guess back in those days they had a factory out there. So I know some Philips phones are made in France as well. So let's power this up. Got a volume key, a couple of volume keys, power button there, up and down, all the usual refinements of a phone of this era. Incidentally, if you're wondering what else there was available at the time, the Nokia 2110 was launched just previous to this, and that was roughly the similar sort of size. The Nokia 2140, which was the Orange equivalent, and then about 7 or 8 months later, this bad boy came along for Orange, and this one is roughly similar sort of size actually, a little bit smaller. It's got the standard battery on there. Obviously, you can get the thick one, this was a real stiff competitor for the Philips Fizz, but this was GSM 1800. It says old school Orange SIM, yeah, we'll keep that. And obviously the Philips Fizz was GSM 900. So real neat phones. Both of these are still good to go. This one's just picked up service, 1-to-1. We'll put that to the side. This one should pick up Vodafone, so we'll power this guy on. I'm hoping he powers up. There we go. Registering should beep when it picks up service. Here we go. Now I'm not sure how long the battery's going to last. I did give this a good couple of hours charge. So if it goes, I'm going to plug in the charger. But anyway, so you got, I'm try and do this without the phone screen getting a glare by the light. So you got up and down keys, you got menu, someone sending me text messages on this phone. I'm gonna ignore that. Are you kidding me? Really? Who's mail bombing me, people? Okay, there we go. Switch this bad boy off. So we'll stick with this one. I'm gonna try and do this without the glare. It is sunny outside, so I'm gonna try and get the phone just right so you guys can see the screen. So the menu is like this. Menu settings, messages, network, comm meters, services, security, and settings again. So let's go into settings. Now annoyingly, and this is something they got wrong, I think, in my opinion, when you're scrolling up and down, you always tend to go towards the left to select. And certainly on the Nokias it's like that. I think even on some of the Motorola's it's like that. For some reason, Philips, you swapped it around. I was like, why? Come on, seriously? So you gotta obviously press OK, and you got languages, backlight, ringtones. Will this focus? Let's hope it focuses. There we go. Ring types. Oh, ring types is always a good one. Let's have a look, see what you got. So you got a choice of 8. Now, I don't want to sound funny, but that sounds familiar, but it also sounds a bit out of tune. That last bit sounds a little bit out of tune. Ho ho ho. That'll obviously be a Christmas one. And obviously the star dictates that that was what was selected. So we'll go with that. Set. Ringer types, ringer volume. High, silent, low, medium. And that was all you got. Pretty basic this by today's standards. Key tone kind of speaks for itself. Any key answer, welcome text, oh number. That should display, oh it doesn't display the number on the SIM card, oh well. Battery warning, signal, and that was it basically. So what else we got? We got messages, voicemail, read new, read all, send messages. So this phone obviously could send text messages. To be fair, back in those days, I rarely used text messages. I was always someone that used to just call people. You know, you want to get through to me? Call me, dude. Don't page me, don't fax me, don't email me, don't Snapchat me, don't Instagram me. None of that social media nonsense. I'm an old school kind of guy. Just call me up. Call me up, make the phone ring. So, network. What else we got in network? We got register new, which is presumably register onto a new network. Preferred networks. Oh, that's all you got. So what's in preferred then? Show list, add available, add known, add code, show list. Now for those of you guys that don't know, SIM cards hold a list of between 30 and 60 networks that the provider that obviously supplies you with the SIM card has set up as their like preferred sort of partners. So when you roam, the phone tries to log on and give you service from the preferred networks that are stored on the SIM card. If it can't for whatever reason, then it'll go to the other provider if it's available. And in the old school days, you could edit that list. So say you were in an area where the preferred provider obviously had poor service, for example, you could edit that list and tell it to go to the other provider. Nowadays you can't do that anymore. They took away that for obvious reasons. So this has got a whole bunch of network codes. I'm going to try and focus this. Network codes programmed in. So the first one is Euro in Sweden, SFR in France, Telec in Portugal, Libertel in Holland, 278, I'm not sure what country that is. It's in Europe somewhere, I think, because twos are obviously in Europe. Omnitel is Italy, RSL Ireland, Panafon's Greece, D2 is Germany, Airtel is Spain, TDMO is Denmark, Natal D was an old Swiss network, Proxy was Belgium, 270, I'm not even sure where that is, 270, somewhere in Europe, Radiolinja was Finland, 41603, where is 416? 416 I think actually is in the Middle East somewhere, isn't it? I don't remember. I seem to 416 rings a bell. I'm sure I've used that network. 602, that'll be somewhere in Asia. TR, that's Telsim. 22601. I got a funny feeling that is somewhere else in Europe. 226. There was a time when I knew every single code for every single network. You guys can Google these up and check what country that is in. 2303, so these are obviously all the ones that don't have lettering. Australian Vodafone, Hong Kong Smart One, a lot of these, Vodacom South Africa, 250, that's Russia, I know that much, I think. 250, I'm pretty sure that's Russia. And Norway, Telen something or other. And this one actually has more than 32 in it. So this has got quite a few. So this list you could go in and edit. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Oh, that's interesting. So you could actually go in and edit this list so that your preferred network roaming lists would be different to what was the standard. Just scrolling through these, most of these are actually numbers. So to give you some, they took away that functionality from phones because they soon realized actually that they didn't want people editing this list. But you can obviously still do it on the old cell phones. All available, add available rather, add known. So obviously if you wanted to add your own, you could do that as well. Add code would be the PLM code there. That the 3 digits is the country, and then the 01 or anything is the particular network in that country. So the UK I think is 234, and you got I think 234-15 or -10 is like Vodafone or O2, and then 233-34 is, or 234-33 I should say, is I think Orange or E as they're called nowadays, and various other ones. So I mean, again, I think Wiki's got a lot of info on this sort of thing. So what else we got? So call meters, kind of self-explanatory really. Last call, let's check out the call timers actually. How much has this phone been used? 16 hours and 58 minutes, so actually not a lot. I mean, I do about double that in a month. I do at least an hour a day on my cell phone, so in fact I probably do a lot more than that, but I split my usage across several cell phones. What else we got? So call meters, service is always a good one. Restriction of identity, so this would be your caller ID. Call forwarding, call barring, call waiting, status. What's the status? Oh, you got to request that. Okay, well, we'll cancel that because this might take a while. And that's pretty much it, I think. Services, security kind of speaks for itself. PIN code, change security code, keypad lock. I ain't going to press any of these because I don't want the phone to lock. And we're back to settings. So a pretty basic phone this. It does still work. I've not plugged it in, so this is actually holding up charge quite good. It still says it's got a decent battery, so this could actually still be used. I'm guessing a phone that's 20 years old, this will be 20 years old in like, what are we, May the 6th, May the 7th? So this will be 20 years old in 2 months. For a phone actually that old, this is in remarkable condition, and the fact that it's not plugged in is pretty amazing. The charger is obviously still in the box. This is a nice 3-pin because it's out of the UK. Got a proprietary connector in it as well. So, but yeah, neat little phone. It does take the full-size SIM. The SIM I've used on this is actually, I'll show you guys, is actually a modern SIM. So this phone isn't funny about taking any old SIM. This is one of my test SIM cards. This is a modern SIM. This is a couple of months old. But I mean, this will take any ordinary SIM. I'm sure if I plug in an O2 SIM, this guy will work just as well. and these are keeper lives. I mark them when I last used them, so they don't get stopped by the cellular providers. So you want to use them every couple of months. So, but yeah, registering. So this should display Cellnet, hopefully. I'm hoping it is. Registering. Come on, dude. UK Cellnet, there we go. Of course, nowadays that's no longer called UK Cellnet, that's called O2. Everybody knows that. And actually, what I found out, the other day was actually O2 in Germany has merged with E+. Apparently that happened like a year ago, but I kind of not privy to that sort of information. So, but that's pretty much all I can say about this phone. This is the slim battery. They did do a fat one as well. Neat little phone. I think this is probably one of my favorites because it still works and it still holds the charge. So pretty neat, I think. Oh, and by the way, someone emailed me a while ago about a Nokia desktop charging cradle. I found the cradle for you, dude. I think this is the one you emailed me about. It is a little dusty, but this definitely does work because it's in ignore that. It's in fairly good condition. If you still want it, drop me an email. I don't know who it was. I got a ton of emails from the competition, which incidentally starts when I get 1,500 subscribers, so we're not far off. I think I got like 4 or 5 left to get. But everybody who's emailed me already, don't worry, they will be included. So it's just getting people getting their foot in the door quick. And I'll be giving away the Nokia 9300, and I was debating whether or not to do the 9110 as well. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up as always, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys hopefully next week. Thanks for watching.